welcome back to Faith and Fire. On today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about a topic that's close to me as a person of faith. So growing up as a person of faith, I feel like I would always look around me and see other people who didn't seem to be playing by the same rule book as I was. I was trying so hard to do what it said in the Bible and things that I heard it said in the Bible. And other people were getting away with what it seems like murder. Not literally. But, you know, what do you do and how does it feel when you as a person of faith are trying so hard to live a life that's according to your faith, and then you see other people who seem to not be playing by the rules? That's the conversation I want to have today. I want to talk a little bit about what does it look like to play by the rules? How do we feel when others don't play by the rules? And are others having more successful lives by not playing by the rules? So to talk about that today, I have two fabulous guests. I'm back with me today. I have Shareé. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Hi, Jessica.
Hey, girl.
Hey.
And Brandy.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Okay, y'all. So I feel like we've all been in those scenarios. And I mean, here's to name a few, just so that we can, one of them, dating. Like, I'm trying real hard to not have hot girl summer. And I see people thoughting it out and they're getting their cars paid for, their hair done and all this. They seem to be winning, right?
Yeah.
Corporate America, you know, you try real hard to hustle, work hard, and then you see that coworker with no integrity and they get promoted.
Failing up.
Yes.
Correct.
So, how does,
Yeah. I remember someone said, you know, there's a saying, they're going to learn today. And one day I looked around and I was like, maybe they're not going to learn today. What happens if they don't learn today?
Yes.
And what have I been doing with the extra credit all this time?
It's just accumulating, but you already got an A.
Yes. So for me, I looked around a little bit, and sometimes I look and I gauge things. I'm going to go, the work one is easy, right? So sometimes if I am killing myself to do something for a particular project or a particular person, and I realize that it is not being valued, I bring it down.
Ooh.
Because I believe that my real job is to be myself.
Yes.
Not to fill this position or that role. My real job, the one that no one else can do, is be Shareé. And so if I'm giving you Shareé with the PowerPoint or with the spreadsheet or with the Word document, and you're like, well, this isn't any of them. I'm like, okay, I'm still going to give you that, whatever that is. But maybe I hold some of the Shareé energy back from myself because I didn't think it was being valued.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to win over here.
Yeah.
Because this game right here, that one feels a little rigged, and like I'm wasting some of my extra energy on that rigged game. It's like, well, if I can't win, Chuck E. Cheese,
Right.
keep your tickets.
But that's a good point, right? Especially in the workplace. I think sometimes I look around and if I'm in a situation where I feel like I'm not winning by playing the rules of the game, I'm like, maybe this isn't the game I should be playing.
Or it's not the right board you should be playing on.
That's kind of what, like this isn't the right job. I'm not good with analogies, but that's what we're trying to say.
That's what we're trying to say. Yeah.
I think it may not be the right environment. Like, so I'm going to be Brandy, but I don't work for people. I work for God. So like, I don't get upset when people don't value me because I'm like, I'm not doing this for you. It's for me and whatever he has in store with me. So you might get what you don't deserve, but in the end, it's going to help me later. So I'm not concerned about I understand what you're coming from, and I'm not saying that's important because I'm also learning how to focus and listen to we talked about discernment, discernment's important because people also call on you when they know that you're reliable and you're going to get it done. But that doesn't mean I'm the right person to do it, right? So for me, I'm just like, when I was younger, I used to get very upset and resentful, but resentment causes cancer and it also ages you. So I'm not doing any of those things anymore. Yeah. I'm just going to no is a complete sentence.
It is.
And I'm okay with that. So now I just don't commit or do anything that I am not going to be myself in.
Yeah.
I just say no.
But that's beautiful, because if you anchor yourself to, well, whatever I'm doing it for God.
Amen. Yeah.
And if God said to do it, then I'm going to do it. It doesn't matter if you value it or value me.
Yeah. I don't care if you like me. We don't like each other. If God wants me to do this, I'm going to do it.
I like that. See, she just let us talk. And then she going to come with this like wisdom bomb. And just
I saw her. I'm picking it up though.
I am.
I'm picking it up.
I mean, like, we think about all the stories in the Bible. Like, for me, none of the people, like, God went to people who were not ready.
Yeah.
They didn't have all the money. They didn't have all the looks. They didn't have the strength. They didn't have, that's part of like the glory in his name is giving it all to him.
Yeah.
So sorry.
No, this is perfect, because I'm here's where my head's instantly going. I'm pulling at the thread, right? And here's where it's going. Let me take you on the journey. So my brain is pulling at the thread and going to business, right?
Yeah.
Because I see, kind of like work, you see people putting in work and you see other businesses excelling past you. Like, oh my gosh, they started 3 years after me and they're doing so much better. But at the end of the day, you are doing it for God and God alone. God has you on a journey, and you don't know, maybe your journey, you need to sit tight right here because the next level requires new skills you don't have yet. Or, there's a reason.
You have to stop. We have to get out of that comparison lane.
Yes.
First of all, we don't know what people sacrifice. Like, that's the piece that kills me, is people want to look at the game and not the practice. I don't care what Allen Iverson said. We're not talking about, we're talking about practice.
Yeah.
Like, where were you when I was waking up at 2 a.m. to do this, or staying up till 2 a.m. to do, like, people don't know what people are putting in behind the scenes. So it's just not fair to yourself or to them to compare yourself.
Yeah. And then I keep pulling at that thread, and it goes exactly what you're saying. Is sometimes, like, I had a conversation with someone the other day who I thought, how are they kind of doing almost the same thing as me? And they seem to be doing it much better. And then I found out they're not. They're about to go out of business.
Oh,
see?
Yeah.
Perception is deception.
Yes.
You don't know what's behind the curtain all the time.
You
don't know what's behind the curtain. And a little bit to what Brandy said, sometimes you're doing something, and I have been in places and spaces where I felt like it was a waste of my time. And in those moments, the times that I was the best served, I was like, God, why am I here? What is the reason for me being in here? Because I'm not just here. Yeah. Why am I here? What am I supposed to get from this? What am I supposed to see, hear, or learn? Help me to take that in. And even though you don't know it in that moment, and there have been times where I didn't find out why until years later. Oh, that's what that season was for. Actually, I do know how to do that. Actually, I do know a little bit about that. And then I needed it. And I was like, okay, I see that. But it does help to ask the question.
Yeah.
Because that way you kind of settle into, I'm not sure everything that's going on. I trust that there is a reason. All things are working together. All things are working together for my good. So whatever this is, it's a part of the process. Yeah.
Faith.
Yeah.
And so I was coming across a feed in my social media. This guy was talking about Job.
Yeah.
And Job's story. Job's story is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He lost everything.
I'm still working my way through the Bible. Can you share a little bit more about Job?
Oh, yes, I can. So Job was, and I'm going to stay high level.
That's perfect.
Okay. Job was wealthy. Mm-hmm. He had a family, a beautiful family, wife, kids, all of that. All of the shepherds, goats, sheep, everything. Okay. Back in the day.
Job.
And I don't want to mess it up, but basically Satan came to God and was like, oh, of course Job is your follower because he has everything. Everything is going on in his life. So what if I take everything? Let's see what if Job still follows you after I take everything away, right?
Yeah.
And this is a story that a lot of Christians struggle with because, like, why would God let Satan take everything? Why? Because God has the pen, and He already knows what Job is going to do, right? Mm-hmm. So Job, his whole family, his wife dies, his kids die, his crops go to crap. He loses everything.
Yeah.
But he stays faithful, and God replenishes him. I don't know the saying if it's twofold.
Yeah, it's multiple times over.
Multiple times over. So he gets a new wife and has more kids and basically quadruple, double up to what he had before, right?
Yeah.
And so because he stayed faithful to the Lord after losing everything.
Another thing about that, though, is that Job had all of that in the beginning. He also had the favor of God.
Yes.
Amen.
He had the favor of God.
Yes.
And the enemy knew that and said, I bet you if you take that hedge of protection off of him and let me have a go.
I bet you if they didn't have that fancy title, I bet you if you didn't have that big of a budget, I bet you if you didn't have all those great resources. Yes, I'm hearing it.
And this is why people say favor isn't fair. Mm-hmm. It's not.
It's not.
Because Job had favor. Job had God's favor before, during, and after.
Yes.
So there's two things I want to touch on. So that's when I get on Bruno Mars on people. Like, don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch.
No, she didn't.
She did.
Hey. Yeah, I don't need budget. I don't need title. I don't need any of that to do what God has planned for me. Mm-hmm. Watch it happen.
She said, watch it happen.
The second piece I wanted to bring up, the reason I brought up Job is because it's the process. People get so focused on the end, they forget about the blessings in the process. And basically what this guy was saying is, in order to grow, and this just hit my soul. It's like, and he compared this analogy. I literally, and I'm going to have to move the microphone. In order to grow, you have to leave something. And people get hung up on having to leave something because they get comfortable.
Yes.
And so let me put it to you. I literally, in order for me to get up from this chair and walk across to Shareé, I have to leave the chair.
Yes.
I can't get to Shareé without leaving this chair.
I mean, it's going to be real awkward. If you do. You
so
just
gonna
scooch,
stick the landing. Stick the landing.
But you get my point.
I do.
Is that if I want to get to Shareé, I got to leave the chair. So I got to be okay with leaving the chair.
Girl, I totally get your point. I'm gonna laugh because the reason I was making all kinds of faces, y'all.
She was.
Because this week, and you'll know when we recorded this from this comment, the episode that just aired or is airing is about letting go of those things that don't serve you. And that's exactly where that went. It's like, sometimes God has a plan for you.
Always.
And you can't, not sometimes, but sometimes he has a plan for you and you can't let go or won't let go of something so that you can move in that direction.
He's not going to give it to you because you won't let go.
Waiting. Don't worry, I'll wait. That's exactly what he says. And it's funny because we were talking about, like, I need to be able to trust God like I trust my GPS. Because if it says turn here and it looks like an empty parking lot, you sometimes just need to turn on faith and realize, an accident just happened.
On faith. That's a shirt.
On faith.
No, on faith.
Girl, where are you getting all these shirts?
God. I don't know. We don't have to do a collaboration.
It's a shop that just opened up. I need that shirt, though.
I need that in my life. Okay.
Well, that's why, the kids say that now.
I don't.
My daughters will say, like, basically it's like truth, like on God, like I don't talk like the children do. I know. My daughter just turned 19 on Monday. And then my other daughter's turning 17 in April.
You got a lot of personalities in your house.
They're better versions of me.
Oh,
it's because they have their husband. I mean,
You mean your husband?
my
their
husband,
father.
their dad.
That's what
Like
you
they
meant.
married?
No, they're
That's
not
what you
married.
meant. You meant your husband.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay,
Thanks.
got
Appreciate
it.
that. Apparently, Shareé is my interpreter.
I love it. We played Taboo earlier.
I'm here all day. I'm here all day.
I love it. Okay, so Job. Thank you. That was a great recap of Job. In hindsight, I think I have heard this story before.
You have. Yeah, especially with you have.
I'm not great with names.
Yes, fair. There's a lot of names in the Bible.
Oh my
by
gosh,
the
so
way.
many. I said Methuselah to somebody the other day, and
And
they were
all the
like,
begotten.
Huh?
And all the
Oh, I
begotten.
didn't-
Bugatti is in the Bible?
Oh, no, not the Bogatti, the begotten, like Jessica begot. Brandy
Oh, yeah.
begot.
Yeah.
I get
And all
lost
the
in
names.
numbers.
Because then the names come after that, and there's
And
a
the
plethora.
tribes.
And a plethora.
Yeah.
And there's
I had to reread it like 3 times because I was watching the movie Noah. And I had the Bible open while I did it because I got questions, and that's what I like to do. First of all,
I can't imagine.
that whole movie had
I
a lot
can.
of stuff that wasn't in the Bible. The Bible was real short, and I said I actually had to Google and say, did they talk about him other places? Because where did they get the rest of this?
The Bible.
Sometimes I just
the
like to
book
randomly
and the
mispronounce.
movies are usually vastly different.
Yes, this one.
Even when they're based on biblical stories.
This one, they changed some critical things, but it was real cute. It had the girl from Harry Potter in it. I liked it. But I had a point, and it wasn't about the girl from Harry Potter. Oh, yeah. So I had to go back through the whole lineage of Noah and see who begot who begot who, and
You
how we
had
got
to.
here. And then I had the aha moment. Oh, we all come from Noah because everybody else did.
That part.
Shut.
That part.
Oh my God.
How did we all get
Well,
here?
we don't-
Everything
well-
started again.
Well, here's the thing.
If it
It's
was
not
fresh
that-
and anew.
I mean, but it was 2 of each. So it's not like we came from Noah.
Oh, no,
There
no.
He was the
came
only
from
man.
Noah. Because the only
Oh, yeah, that's
humans
right.
on the ark were
Were his
Noah
family.
and
Yes.
his lineage.
Yeah, that's right.
And so
That's
that
fair.
continued, and they continued to
forgot.
procreate
'Cause-
afterwards on land from Noah and his lineage.
I'm glad I'm not the last one to have that aha moment.
No.
'Cause we
No.
always talk about the numbers of stars in the sky, like as many as the stars in the sky.
Yeah.
And we forget that he came from him too. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So back to playing fair. Okay. So, yes, go ahead. Cause you're going to give me a
No.
seed because I'm about to challenge and blow it. I'm about to drop a little cherry bomb.
One thing you guys brought up was like other people winning, right?
Yeah.
Like you were like, but like they don't get away with it for very long. And whether it's them in their life, like there's thing called generational curses. So that person may not experience, but their kids do. And I don't want that for my,
Yeah.
Not only that, but you don't get to see it.
that too.
You don't get to see the recap.
Yeah.
Right.
That gets shielded from you. So, and this is all perception, and we were talking about this before. Just like they think what someone has, they got is easy, and like you were
Right.
saying, they're not showing up for practice. They're
Right.
only seeing the games.
Correct.
You also aren't seeing who got cut.
Correct.
You're not seeing what's happening behind the scenes.
That's right.
So sometimes it looks like people are winning, and they are paying a price for that quote
Correct.
unquote win.
You got it.
The things that you do have consequences regardless.
Yeah.
Well, it's the unseen concept. Like that's what I'm living my life for is the unseen stuff. Because I don't want those consequences. The negative consequence, by the way,
Can be
when you
positive
look
or
at
negative.
thank
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely.
People always assume it's negative only.
Yay, my psych degree came to the conversation. The psych degree is joining the chat.
There we go. There we go.
No, like, okay. So this is actually perfect. I love that you added that in the room before I drop this. So, okay. All of this is all good and well. And we love that you're married. But for those of us in the dating pool,
Hey now.
and we talked to, we could talk about what the dating pool's like, but I feel like if you're in the dating pool, you know what's swimming in there with you. And
You guys need tetanus shots.
we need tetanus shots, girl. But like, here's the thing though. You out here trying to find a mate. You're being your best, I'm being a woman of God.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make myself into a good wife. And I feel like the more I make myself
Me
into
too.
someone's good wife.
I'm trying to make myself into
Yeah, but you already got it.
Yes.
So the more I try to make myself into someone's good wife, the further I feel like I get from being someone's good wife, because they don't want a wife. They want the whore with a hard R. They want, you know what I mean? Like they want to, they're like literally going sex first. Like if
It's
I
hard
can't,
to compare with the thoughts.
yes,
It's hard to compare, at least if you're trying to be virtuous.
yes. Yes.
And you're trying to have some class out here in these streets. And, you know, I like you, am single and required courting.
Yes.
And someone said, courting? Do they still do that? And I said, they do over here.
At this restaurant.
Where I'm at.
That's what this restaurant.
Wait, we can't call ourselves restaurants. That goes into a whole arena.
I was gonna say this household, but there was the thought that it was like a lot and like too much and like, oh, well, I can get such and such over there. And I was like, well, please do and thank you.
Enjoy your entree, sir.
You know, good luck to you and yours.
I wish you well.
I wish you well. No, seriously, peace be to you and all the things.
Yes.
Just because.
Have a blessed life.
See if she hires house cleaners like I hire house cleaners.
Hey, see if I can.
I'm just saying, you got to go with the skills you got.
You do, but at the same time, I think that there's, to your point, I sometimes feel that frustration is like, well, you guys are not making this easy. But at the same time, I also see things sometimes I'm like, well, I wouldn't want that.
Yes. So there's the thing.
No, thank you. I wouldn't want that. So.
Later, you kind of realize what you were saying sometimes is you see his lifestyle come out, or you find out later, oh, you were talking to like 5 women who don't know about each other, like not open, dating around, but like they each think they're the only one. Like that's the kind of stuff I've discovered. Like literally God protects the heck out of me. Amen. So I will meet people and they were for no reason. Like we have a good conversation. Nothing weird even happens. They just disappear. And I know, and I've come to find out God just removes people.
Amen.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And he's all like protection.
Great. Yes.
100%.
Praise him.
Yes.
And because it'll be happen right after I pray on it. Like we'll have a great conversation. We about to have a date. And I was like, and then they'll just disappear off the face of the earth. And I won't chase it because like, I won't pursue it. I won't ask what happened because I know, because like right after we set that date, I pray. And then all of a sudden they disappear. And I'm like, there's no new information. There was no new text message. There was no new visit. They didn't, you know, it's not like they could have seen you and been like, oh, I thought you were 5'42" with blonde hair. Like, you know, nothing. And God just says, let me protect you from that. That one's, and then you find out stuff later and you're like, oh
yes, that protection is real. And I'm so grateful for the protection I've had, because there have been some things where I'm like really thinking that door that was closed was rejection. And it was like, God put me in a safe room.
Yes.
And was like, hold on a second.
No thoughts allowed.
Hold on a second. We need to create a whole hedge of protection around you. I need to take care of some things and remove some things that are unsafe and are unbecoming and inappropriate for you. And then when you come back out, it's empty, but it's safe.
Yes.
And it's for you. And sometimes that just takes time. It's not fun though. But I prayed this prayer before where I'm like, okay, God, can you just, if there is something that is not of you and for you and through you in this situation, can you make it so that I can see, that I can see it and can't unsee it?
Yeah.
Help make it clear to me so that I am very clear and I can't unsee it.
Yeah. I'm just picturing a man with a big Rudolph nose and you're just staring at him like, I see it, God. I see it. I can't unsee it. I got it.
Well, I mean, but it's happening. Sometimes
like
it's not. Sometimes it'll be like, you know, you'll have a conversation or go for coffee or something, and something is said or done, and was like, wow, that just happened. I can't.
Do you want to go to the Trump rally with me?
I can't not. Yeah, just it's like, wait a second.
Well, I was going to bring up
what
they put Taylor Swift on a Bride of a Chucky doll, and you cannot unsee it. I'm going to have to send it to you.
Don't send that to me.
Please
I don't want that image in my... I'm guarding my eye gate right now.
I'm washing my mindset
and you
as
cannot,
you're saying
you can't unsee it.
No.
No, thank you. Unsubscribe.
Just saying.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So it's funny because I brought it up thinking it was a cherry bomb in the room, but I think we already answered our own, you know, query in terms of, okay, I guess I see where God protects us from some of those things. So that's why dating in the dating pool, it looks like these thoughts are winning, but the hot girl summer is not working out for them. That's why they have to have hot girl summer, then hot girl winter, then hot girl fall. And then they're also not winning at life and getting what they're looking for.
No, I have, you know, sorority sisters that are still the ones that my husband couldn't stand. Mm-hmm. They are never married. No kids. Some of them may be engaged multiple times, but they are still doing girls' trips everywhere. And I'm like, that got boring to me like my freshman year of college. And so I can't imagine doing it decades later. Like, not
Girls
fun.
trips?
No, I think girls trips are fun, but to your point, like the hot girl summer.
Oh, yeah.
That's like that gets old and it's lonely.
Yeah.
It's not real.
That makes sense.
I think
It's
it's
for the
more about
gram.
the it's not real
It's
part.
for the gram.
That thing that's not real. It's like it's that fake food that doesn't really sustain you.
Yeah.
It's like, why am I hungry 10 minutes later? It's like, because you didn't really eat.
It's like your roster is all the stuff in the pantry you don't want to eat.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that just came to me, y'all.
So good. That is so good.
Like, okay,
This pantry is trash.
he's Lay's potato chips.
This pantry is trash.
He's that granola bar that's been there for 3 years. We don't. There's so much food.
The expired canned food.
He's the expired can of peas. Like, I got a full pantry, but I don't want to eat none of this.
So do you have those items that for some reason you buy it and you're like, no, and then somehow you buy it again and then it ends up in your pantry once again?
I put it right next to the other thing, and then I'll be like, oh, wait a minute. Like right now, I have like 3 containers of Worcestershire sauce. And I'm like, oh, Lord, please deliver me from buying Worcestershire sauce or teach me how to say it, one or the other.
I know I can't say it either.
I like Worcestershire.
Oh,
Worcestershire.
you know how to
That's how
say
you
it.
say
I
it.
love that.
Worcestershire.
Okay.
Still, there's
say
a
it.
duplication of old things. It's like, wait a second, this is the pattern.
Yeah. So, okay, we talked about dating. We talked about corporate America. We talked about business. What are other arenas where it feels like others are not playing by the rules potentially, and we feel like it's unfair? Like, is there a scenario out here where we think it's going to hold up and not, come back to some Full House lesson at the end of the conversation?
I don't know. What about the church?
Ooh. Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, go ahead. Tell me more.
So, and this is a little bit of a blend, and you mentioned dating, which is why it came to me. Sometimes
I can't. You said dating in the church, and I was trying so hard. First of all, when you said the church, I was like, cheating pastors. And then I was like, okay, get that out your head. That's not where she going with this. And then you said, when we talk about dating, I said, oh, Lord. I'm trying to go to heaven at some point. Just remember that when we go in this conversation. Let's go.
I am too. And so I'm this is a vulnerable space. Mm-hmm. So I married a man who was, we prayed and we read the Bible, and this man also was a pastor. Mm-hmm. And so I just knew this is going to be it. It's going to be me, you, and the Lord. We're going to be having good times. I'm going to grow spiritually. It's going to be beautiful. I'm going to be covered. I don't have to be out here in these streets ever again or take any of the thing that's in the dating pool home with me.
Girl.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
And you get to see a lot. And like I said, I grew up in church. Like since I was little. And I mean, when I say I grew up in church, what I mean is we went to church all the time and we were very involved in church. I have been a junior usher. I have been a junior choir member. I've been on the junior drill team and all the different things where you're at church so much, you know where the keys are to the room downstairs in the basement where the extra storage stuff is. Mm-hmm. So I have spent some time, and when you have an opportunity to be in church so much where you see things from the back end, you see those people from something outside of their Sunday roles.
Yeah.
And being in that situation, in having that in my home, I really got a chance to see. I have a fear of God that will not allow me to play church.
Yeah.
It will not allow me to play with my spirituality.
That's right.
It will not allow me. I
me
can
too.
lie to myself, but I will not lie to God.
Oh, no.
Yeah. We don't play those games over
We don't
here.
play those games.
So it hadn't occurred to me that someone or something who even is preaching the word of God could be disingenuous in their walk.
Yes.
And even myself, I prayed. I was like, Lord, you should send him away because I don't want to be a pastor's wife. That is a lot of responsibility. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of holiness all the time. And, sometimes I need Jesus like, okay, can you help me out right here with the Shareé-ness that's happening in this moment? Mm-hmm. Can you help me with this pieces? I was like, what are we going to do with those moments? How do we deal with that? Can you just send him away? And he's like, no, this is for you. And then I saw some things and I was like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even in church?
Even in church.
Yeah.
girl.
We
People
just
don't be
talked
playing
about
by the
this.
rules, even in
Yes,
church.
they're people.
They are.
But to your point is if you're going to sign up for that, you need to, lean in heavily on the Lord for strength, because that is not an easy, that's a reason why, as much as if he calls me, I'm going wherever he wants me to do. So I'm not saying no, because whatever he wants, it is going to happen. But it's a lot of responsibility.
A lot.
Well, and we were talking about the church, but then that goes back. I want to go back to business, and relationships. So like some people are like, oh, I want to be a VP, or I want to be the president, or I want to be the CEO, CFO. I'm like, I don't know if the people that are saying that, they barely can do their work right now.
Sir, you can barely do your job.
I don't know if they understand. It is more than just showing up to meetings to be at that level. It's a sacrifice.
Right.
Their families are sacrificing the time that those folks are spending with the business. I mean, both of my sisters are VPs, and then and the work that I do, I support them. I see it firsthand. All the trips, all the their families are sacrificing, so that our company can thrive.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
It sounds like it's different, right? The VPs, the first ladies, the heads of their own business.
Being a wife, being a husband, be careful what you ask for. Don't, and I, I'm not going to pretend to know what you guys are going through or whatever, but I can only imagine. Don't tell me that you're looking for that you want to be somebody's husband and father when you're not acting like one. Don't tell me that. When you don't take care of your own kids.
Yeah.
When you don't. So I can see the frustration. Like, don't sign up for it.
Yeah. And I give you a hard time, but it is hard to stay in a marriage. It's hard to.
It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah,
marriage
So I'm
is
not
not
going
for
to
the
do
weak.
it again. I just told Shareé, and I'm not going to do this again unless God calls me to. I keep saying that whatever
part.
you want. But it's the hardest thing. Like, it's staying married and then having kids for me.
Yeah.
Like, childbirth is pretty hard, carrying life in your body. And I'm putting staying married in front of that.
Yeah. Ooh, I can't imagine.
It's a lot. Like,
It is a lot.
I'm the youngest child, and I practically am like an only child in the sense that my sisters are 12 and 16 years apart from me.
Okay.
And so, like, I didn't know. I got everything I wanted. Like, I didn't have to share with anybody. Like, and then my sisters were like pseudo aunts because of our ages. So my older sister bought me my first car. My, middle sister gave me my first credit card, cell phone. They took care of me. Even though I didn't come from a lot, my sisters made sure that I had what I needed.
I love that your sisters were way better. I have about a 12-year difference too. And I finished some sentence in my head. It said, my sister gave me my first thong. That is the sister I had. I'm glad you had a different experience.
Well, a fun note really quick. And so I told you my sister bought me my first car. It was a 91 Mazda. It was $2,300, right? And so back in what?
Don't share the year, girl. We can do the math.
Okay. But it was it was early 2000. Let's be clear. It was early 2000s when I got the car. Okay, I'm just saying. You're like, Brandy, it's 2024. Never mind that. So when she bought it, she was like, it was with the intent that I would pay her back, right? And I never paid her back, okay, until this last month. I paid her $2,300.
With interest?
No interest, but do you know what my sister said?
No interest, but...
No interest. I said, do you want interest?
Can I be your sister?
Yes.
We'll role play it. Go ahead.
No, but do you want to... So I said...
I'm going to role play it with you. Okay, go ahead. Hi, Brandy.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi. So about that car loan I gave you back in the day.
Well, she didn't bring it up.
Okay. Let's do it the other way.
Okay. Yeah, she did it. So Tracy, remember that car loan the
girl, yes, I think about it all the time.
I'll tell you her real response. Okay. So what if I paid you back?
I would love that. Can it be the net present value of the car loan?
It sure can. It sure can. Let's see what a 91 Mazda is worth right now. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you want what it was worth back then.
That's not how net present value works. Oh, okay. I don't do math like that, but I know that's not what the equations be given. Okay. Now what she really say?
She said, she laughed at me and she said, Brandy, you have surpassed everything that I could even imagine.
Aww.
And that was really to teach you responsibility. You don't have to pay me that. I'm like, I think it's funny. I do. I'm like, let me pay. You don't want that money? She goes, how about we do this? I go, fine. What if I split it between you and the girls? Because I got a college student and I got a kid who is in her, great kid, works, plays sports, doesn't, when I say work hard in school and play sports. Yeah. So she's like, yeah, let's do that. So we split it 3 ways. So, and then I text the girls and was like, you need to thank your Auntie Tracy because I finally paid her back for the car that she bought me for my 16th birthday. And she decided to split it 3 ways. And then my sister said, text them back and was like, girls, you're good girls. Just continue to be good to your mother. So that was the sweetest thing. I think that was an aha moment for me from a sisterly perspective.
Yes. That's a great example.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. We keep talking about people who don't play by the rules and winning. This is a great example of somebody who played by the rules. Like she probably wouldn't even think about that money, unlike my example.
I know. She wasn't. She thought it was funny.
You had integrity and you came to her.
She said, girl, run me my money. When I said it, like, she's like, I'll take it. Run me my money. You know? So I did. She goes, ooh, girl, you follow through on your debts.
Yes.
And so that's, even though it was,
and you won. Like it paid off.
Yeah.
And so I think that kind of brings it in a new light. It's just like we focus so hard on the people who aren't playing by the rules because we feel like it's unfair. And we don't think about all the times where we played by the rules and God has rewarded us.
Amen.
Well, I think you just hit on something. Yeah. I think it's not the rules that we're talking about you're playing by, it's the values.
Ooh.
Yes.
It's like when you're playing by the right values, God's going to see that. And that's all that matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you do that, everything that is supposed to come to you is going to come to you.
Yeah.
Everything that's for you is going to be for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
He told us how to win in the playbook he gave us.
The playbook is real.
Well,
and you can fact check it.
It is. Well, and then, God is the same person today, tomorrow,
and yesterday,
right? Like, and he's never going to lie to us. And so that's the other thing we need to recognize, that some things aren't God.
Yes.
Like,
unpack that.
Unpack that?
Yeah.
Like, God is love. He's joy. He's self-control. He's the fruit of the Spirit, right? Mm-hmm. So when we are experiencing those things, that is not him. That's not him. So why, to your point, why do we spend so much time focusing on the stuff that's not him?
So like when we're focusing those things, like I think it goes back to that Job example. Like he allowed Satan to come down. Like that wasn't him doing that. Did he allow it? Yes. Was it for a purpose and still alignment with the journey that he had him on? Yes. But is that kind of, am I understanding it right?
Well, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. It's like, it was Satan that did those things to Job.
Right.
It wasn't God.
Right.
And so, yes.
Okay.
So that's.
I just want to make sure we're here.
We're here.
Because sometimes I can have a slow moment.
Yes. No, it's okay. But people are always like,
I was in that moment with you. That's why I was like, unpack that. No, but my brain stopped.
But God didn't promise that we weren't going to, again, going back to Jesus, this is Holy Week.
Yeah.
Right? Jesus did not sin. And that's the whole reason we have salvation.
Yeah.
It's because he died for us. A non-sinner died for us.
Yeah. Sinners.
That's right.
Yeah.
But why do we as sinners think that we're not going to experience any adversity when the person who never sinned did?
Because we don't read the playbook.
We didn't read the playbook. That's what my pastor said on Sunday. He had said that same thing.
Cause like why do what entitlement should we get to not experience?
Okay, so entitlement is running rampant. So that may be the answer to our question.
That's what I'm saying. It's a disease.
It's a little contagious. It's a little contagious.
I'm sick.
That's right. Ooh, Jessica got some entitlement.
Ooh. Pass them around. Hold on. I
don't want none of that.
I don't want none of that either.
That's funny. No, but I love this. Okay. So playbook, playing by the rules. I think we made few good points. One of them is we not playing for others. We're playing for God. So like, remember whose team you on.
I'm on his
You
team.
play for your star player.
That's right. He my coach.
Your coach, right. The other thing is you don't know what it looks like on the other side or behind the scenes. You don't know if that person's one step away from going out of business and really they're just putting on a facade. You may think they're winning and they may be winning today, but are they winning in the long run? You may not see what happens generations to come.
Yes.
You may not realize that, like, what if you were Noah's granddad and you were like, why is Bob's granddad doing so well in life? Well, Bob's granddad died and Noah lived.
Yes.
Yes, that part.
I'm not good at analogies, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the last thing I hear you say is we also need to focus on the people who are playing by the playbook, because just like Job, the people who are playing by the playbook, they're winning too.
Winning.
And like multiples exponentially, because God's favor, when it rains, it pours.
Make it rain. Make God's favor rain.
I don't know what that's what they meant when they said that, ma'am.
That's when I'm talking.
Make it rain. They meant God's favor.
I'm talking about God's favor. I don't know what you talking
Hold your
about.
comments, ma'am.
Every time you speak, I hear a song in my head. Before it was,
I can't help it. Music has played a huge part in my life, so I cannot help it.
I love it.
Yes.
So as someone's sitting there across from Becky, listening to this podcast and watching Becky fudge her reports and knows that Becky gonna get a raise next month, and they feel like, I can't stand Becky. Why does she always win when I try to play by the rules? What advice would you give that person?
Ooh, I hear my grandmother. My grandmother said, do what you know to do when nobody's watching you. It doesn't make a difference who's watching. Like you don't want to do the thing just for people to see you doing the right thing. Do the right things even when no one is watching.
Yeah.
Even when nobody is seeing what you're doing, make sure you do what you're supposed to do.
Because at the end of the day, God will reward that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good advice. Wise person. What would you say to them?
I'd say mind your business.
She said, but it's the way you said it, though. Like, just leaned back, just mind your business.
No. In all seriousness, like, I say this all the time. Do you want to be Becky? You're not Becky. Mm-hmm. You're Jessica. You're Shareé. I'm Brandy. I only want what's for Brandy. Mm-hmm. What God wants for me. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. So again, tying it back to everything we've talked about, you just don't know. If you want what Becky has, you got to take the good and the bad. It's not just only the good.
Yeah. Maybe Becky's working so hard at work because her husband's about to leave her.
Or we don't know what God is serving to Becky. We don't know that. And so my advice would be to focus, what are your goals? Mm-hmm. What are you trying to accomplish? What is God telling you? Yeah. And that's what you need to focus on. And if you don't know the answers, then you need to pray about it.
Yeah, I got an analogy for you that this used to come to me all the time. And there was a situation I had that was a playing by the rules thing where someone was really not playing by the rules and it looked like they were winning. And I was so upset. I went to God and I was like, this is not fair. And, I just had a little tantrum. And God showed me a situation where me and that person were in a classroom. And it had one of those old school clocks where, you look up at the time to see if you're finished with your test.
Yeah.
And that person was not doing anything. And I'm working and I got my pencil and I'm doing my answers and I'm trying to make sure I capture each and every one. And then the ding goes off and they just get up. And God was like, you mind your test,
yes,
not theirs. Because at the end of the day, you're only going to get the value on yours. They're not going to look at the other person's and see how you did.
Yes.
It's how you were doing. It's like you spent so much time looking at them taking their test that were you paying attention to your own?
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane, man.
Stay in your lane.
See, y'all gonna make me bring back the Mind Your Own Faith t-shirts.
Yes.
I have one.
Yes,
I
Mind your
almost wore it
own
tonight, but
faith.
I would have loved that.
yeah,
Yes.
I almost wore it.
You need to bring those back, please and thank you.
I love it. Bring it back. See, all these songs.
Okay. See?
Her tongue came out when I said that was a gut reaction.
Did it? It's like when you hear the Juvenile song. Have you guys seen that? The
never
TikTok
seen
with
that. What is that?
the Juvenile song. Dun, 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 dun. Like what? Like every millennial.
It's like, wait a minute. Where's the dance floor?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
No, stay in your lane.
Y'all, I love
Yeah.
this. Okay. Well, this was a wonderful conversation.
Yes, it was.
I feel like it went a little ASMR right then. But thank you both for sharing this moment with me, for talking through it with me. I actually feel better. I feel refreshed.
I
And
do too. It was very satisfying.
yeah, like I can keep on playing by the playbook a little bit longer.
The Bible. What is you?
The Bible.
The Bible.
The
Yeah,
Bible.
Le Bible.
I love Bible.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you, ladies. I appreciate you joining me.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for having me.
And thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you joining in on the conversation. Be sure to comment. Let us know, how are you playing by the playbook, and is that working out for you? And just wait and see how it works out for you in the long run, because you will be rewarded. If you like this episode, be sure to like, follow, subscribe so you can hear the next one right here on Faith and Fire.